We're going to continue our sequence today. We ended last time in downward dog. Our next pose is ragdoll. So there are a couple of options. You could walk the hands and feet together and then come up in ragdoll. Well, we're just going to start standing here. Roll the shoulders down and back. Take the feet about hip width apart here, whatever's comfortable, and you can leave a little bend in the knees. So we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, and come down. And this is also called dangling pose. So basically you're dangling your hands. And then you can grab on to the opposite elbow. Keep a nice little bend in the knees. This is a pose that basically passively opens up the side of the body. In revolved head, we're going to roll up here. Revolved head to knee is actively opening it. You're active. This is a little more passive, a little more of a cool down, wind down way to do it. So, straighten out my mat here. We're going to come into a high lunge. So I'm going to line up the edge of my back foot with my mat. And then I'm going to step forward. Now, if your calf is really tight, your heel's going to pull in. So just keep that in check there. And then we're going to engage the glute on the back leg. We're bringing the belly button in. Bend the front knee. Now if you're good here, if you're feeling that in your hip flexor, quad maybe a little bit, option to bring the hands up. We're grounding down through that big toe on the front foot. Squeezing the glute on the back leg. We're going to switch sides here. So we're engaging the glute, right? We're engaging the core. Exhale, bend the front knee. If you want to add a little bit of a back bend, that's an option. If you are a little bit tippy, you can keep one hand on the hip and just bring the hand with the leg that's back, because this is the side we're stretching. You'd bring that hand up and come back. So now that we have warmed up the hip flexors a little bit, we're going to come into camel. I love camel. So we're going to come onto our knees, and if you tend to get foot cramps, go ahead and grab your blanket and stick it under the tops of your feet. We're going to roll the shoulders down and back. Remember, we are active in the inner thigh here. The inner groins area is very active, which is very important. And also your glutes, because this is a little back bend, you want your glutes really active here. We're protecting the low back. So we're going to roll the shoulders down and back. Option, if you're really tight, tuck the toes. Toes flat is a deeper back bend. So we're pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. We're activating the adductors. We're squeezing the glutes. We're active in the core. And we're going to bring the hands, the thumbs to the SI joints. Broaden through the clavicles or the collarbones. Inhale. And it is not something you want to rush through. Be careful not to extend the head too far back. Inhale, I'm going to reach back and grab one heel. I'm going to pause here. Inhale. Exhale, grab the other heel. So we're keeping the chest open. We're active. My inner thighs are very, very active here. And then bring one hand back and the other. And the other thing that's really active are your glutes. So you're going to kind of ground down through the front of your foot, or the top of your foot, excuse me, and your knees. But just be careful not to overextend on the neck. So now we're going to come into mountain pose. We're going to lift the toes, roll them back down. Activate those adductors and the arches of the feet. Sorry. All the way up. Roll the shoulders down and back, lengthening through the coccyx to the tailbone, all the way through the crown of the head. Pressing those shoulder blades down the back. We're going to come back onto our mat here, and we're going to do a a hip roll. There's a bunch of different words for this pose. Basically, we are going to stretch the outside of the hip. So we're going to come onto our mat. We're going to make sure that we have nice length in the neck here. I'm going to bring one leg down, and the other knee I'm going to bring up and then just let it cross over. And I am going to hold onto it with this hand because it gives a nice stretch here. So we're stretching the abductors of the hip, the muscles that bring the leg out, TFL, and a few other ones. Medial rotate a little bit, that's what they also do. So we're going to stretch those, keep the chest nice and open. If you want to stretch your piriformis too, you can go ahead and grab onto that and bring knee to opposite shoulder. Grab onto your knee and kind of pull gently. Then we're going to switch sides. And you can also hook the foot on the leg a little bit on the one that's extended if that's comfortable. Or exhale. Focusing our exhale on that hip area and seeing if we can make it release a little bit. Then we're going to bring it up a little, both hands here. We're going to pull the knee to opposite shoulder. That is getting our piriformis. So we've stretched out abductors and lateral rotators, so medial and lateral. We're going to come over to our wall here. Slide the hips right up against the wall and then swing them up so my sit bones are against the wall. Come into legs up the wall. You can cactus the arms if that feels good to you. If you want to put a strap around the ankles so that you can relax a little bit more into it, that is an option too. Sometimes I will do sort of a guided relaxation. Sometimes I just have a quiet ending. And sometimes I will include pranayama with legs up the wall. But that completes this class, and we will start a new class next month.